Are you having problems with getting email delivered? This is a common question we keep getting, and it typically has to do with SPF, DKIM, and DMARC. So these are protocols that are wrapped around email that could be causing your emails not to show up in the inboxes, or to show up in promotional, or just to dissolve in hyperspace. Let's start off with the basics here. We're going to start with SPF, and this stands for Sender Policy Framework. So the SPF is who can send on my behalf. So this is, I am eGarrison, and I am going to allow Microsoft O365 and for a constant contact to be able to send on behalf. So an SPF record, and here's an example of what it looks like, says these are the companies on my behalf of who can send. So this is the who. The next thing that we're going to look at here is the integrity level. So SPF is your first, then you come to the DKIM, and this is a header. So this is your integrity. And this means I am going to put inside of every email, because I have added 1 to 2 records to the DNS called selectors. So these are going to look like selector1.dkim.egarrison.com, selector2.dkim.egarrison. This is going to be, the reason why we're going to have 2 selectors is I want to be able to rotate those keys. So that's becoming more common, is you don't keep the same key forever. Some providers will have you put a CNAME in here. Also perfectly fine to do selector2.dkim.egarrison as a CNAME to another record if you're using like a constant contact. Or our Hyperflex system or something. But this is going to be a long string of public key that is going to go into the email. So you're going to have your public key and your private key. And what's going to happen is it's then going to validate that this is good. And this is a very common one right now. All email must have a DKIM record in it, or especially Google is not going to take it. The next thing is going to be DMARC. And I'm not going to bore you with the acronyms. You can chat GPT if you want. But DMARC is really what to do if it fails, how to handle. So this is going to tell when mail server 1 sends that message over to mail server 2, which is where it's going to be received. It's going to look to see first, is SPF valid? Yes. Does it have a DKIM header? Yes, but DKIM also has to match. So it's then going to go back to the DNS records and validate the key. The key that's inside the message is not the key that's in the DNS record. They are meant to match with each other. That's going to give a Boolean pass or fail. So it's going to spit back to the message, yes, this message is good. Now let's say that it's not. Then that's where DMARC is going to say, okay, I have a message where the DKIM doesn't match. Do you want to quarantine it or reject it? If you have today it marked as none, Q equals none, your emails are not going to get through to Google, because Google wants to know, hey, you got to be doing something with this. It's also going to have an email address to report the failures to. You can use a third-party service, you can use a support group, you can use a internal, but you have to have an email message receiver there that can receive these messages and be able to help you debug when something goes wrong. But your DMARC is really your how to handle. And here's some examples of what the DMARC should look like. This is what a good one should look like for your company. Just replace our domain out here, and this is what you would expect it to be. And make sure that you have all of these records in place. The place that you're going to go to validate these is going to be twofold. Here's an email address that I want you to send a message to, and have you ping this address if you want a quick report of whether your email has all of these things set up right or wrong. We don't charge, we're not going to spam you, you're not being added to any email list. This is just something free we do. I'm not saying the email address out loud because I don't want the YouTube transcriber to pick it up, but here it is on the screen. Email to this address from any of your company email addresses, and a report will come back immediately and tell you whether you are a pass or a fail on all of these, and give you some suggestions if you're not. You also want to do this from your bulk mail sender, like a Constant Contact or MailChimp or whatever, as well as any other event-driven systems. So a lot of people are doing automations today. If you're using Make.com, if you're using Zapier, if you're using Eventbrite for an event and sending on your behalf, you want to make sure all of them are tested and have added to the SPF, have them sending out DKIM, and have the DMARC should be universal. You shouldn't have to change that on a per sender basis. It should be one universal DMARC record there. The other tool I want you to use is MX Toolbox. So mxtoolbox.com. You're going to check your MX record on here, and it's going to tell you a quick report on these as well. Just another good reference check. But between our tool and the MX Toolbox, you should be good to go, and to make sure you've got good sender reliability here. Again, having any questions, reach out to us. We're glad to help. We help out a lot of companies. We also can help you migrate if you want to get on something like O365. That's something we do for a lot of SMB companies as well as charities. If you like this video, be sure to watch our video that dissects a 5-layer cake of how GEO and AI search technologies are changing how your websites are built.